Today I want to talk about some moves Ed Orgeron made at LSU. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we're going to talk about Ed Orgeron, who has the opposite problem of the University of Oklahoma when we're talking about offense versus defense. And the SEC, as it is wont to remind us all, is very good at playing defense. You look at Alabama, you look at Georgia, you look at LSU, you see the class of defense when we're talking about college football. And you know, you could even throw Auburn into that argument depending on what year it is and what they got, particularly at defensive line. And we know that things start on the defense in the trenches. I'm really interested, though, to see if Ed Orgeron, who, by the way, was not supposed to keep this job for this amount of time, can continue to put things together and make the right moves while he continues to recruit at a high level. I get that Scott Woodward is brought in as his athletic director, and A&M and LSU are basically traded. Okay. We also know that Scott Woodward is very close with Jimbo Fisher, and their friendship goes back nearly 15 years. And you'd think that Jimbo Fisher might be a perfect dude to trade again from Florida State to A&M, and again to A&M to LSU to be their head coach because he's much more offensive-minded. He's really good at developing quarterbacks and recruiting quarterbacks, and we know that that has been an Achilles heel of LSU football for nearly a decade now. It's been a while since we can look at LSU's quarterback and say that is one of the top 5, top 10 quarterbacks in the country. I had high hopes for Brandon Harris. It didn't really end like I wanted it to for him. But with Joe Burrow, you get the Mettenberg kind of character. You get a guy who people are want to remind you, he's got legs and he can run. That doesn't make him a runner, and that doesn't make him good at running at all. That just means that he's an athlete like the other 21 guys on the field. But Joe Burrow transferred from Ohio State, which has a pedigree, and we knew that Ohio State was good, and we knew that they were capable of giving you good quarterback play. He also adopted LSU and became a favorite son at quarterback by just saying, hey, we got the tools to compete on both sides of the ball. And they proved that to a degree. I thought Central Florida gave them a really good go. And if Mackenzie Milton is healthy for that bowl game, they might have an outside opportunity of upsetting a really good LSU football team. But even Ed Orgeron understood the value of playing offensive football in a defensive conference. He let go Matt Canada, which to some was controversial because he was actually not terrible. His motions and his screens and all the different rigmarole that was going on into his offense is gone. And they installed Ensminger, and I get all of that, but the move here was bringing in Joe Brady. And Joe Brady brings with him the Saints offense, which is, say, Sean Payton's offense. And he's bringing what they think is run-pass option to a program that is only ranked inside the top 20 in yards per play just 3 times in the past 8 years. Now, some of you might think, wow, that's actually pretty good, RJ, when you look at what they were doing. No, it wasn't. You had Leonard Fournette, okay? You should be doing whatever it is that you should be doing with Leonard Fournette. You had good wide receiver play. You just ain't got a great quarterback, and you haven't taken the next step in the evolution of what has become a dual threat position. And by that, I mean that guy has to not just be the kind of dude that you have to stick up for as a runner. You shouldn't have to say, hey, he can run when he needs to. That means he can't. Okay, that puts him in the Dwayne Haskins category of runners. Dude, yeah, he'll run away. He's also going to get caught. He's also fat. Joe Burrow is not fat. He also ain't a runner. So we'll see what that looks like for them, because I think when you want to look at an offense that might work for them, that can take advantage of really good wide receiver play and a really good run game, the Saints' offense fits. They had Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram in the backfield, Michael Thomas at wideout. Okay, and Drew Brees was good enough to hit those throws when they were there, little split-second passes, getting Calvin Kamara out in space, giving Mark Ingram the opportunity to make plays with the ball put in his belly. And I'm going, okay, I see the one-to-one there. Plus, Ed Orgeron, always the recruiter, always convincing fans that he knows what he's doing, says, no. I'm going to go to the dudes that that should have won the Super Bowl, had an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl at the very least, and I'm going to go steal their guy, who is an analyst, and make him my passing game coordinator. Now, I'm also interested in what this means play calling, and I don't think that Joe Brady's going to end up being a play caller. I think he's the passing game coordinator. But I think if they can get real value out of Joe Burrow as a passer, and they can attempt to take advantage of what is probably going to be a loaded box against them, and get these deep routes and these deep route combinations going off of play action, off of little slants, 5-yard hitches, then you could see LSU really start to become not an offensive juggernaut, because that ain't going to happen in a year, but at least the kind where it's not going to be the defense that has to save you, which at Oklahoma is the opposite. You need the offense to save you, and we're trying to basically get together and go, hey, whatever Dave Aranda has been doing, can Alex Grinch still get some of that too? But I got tremendous respect for LSU and its fan base. I have lots of friends who say go Tigers all the time. And even my best friend, his mother, she graduated from LSU. She had the audacity to put up an LSU flag in the front yard when LSU won its last national championship under Les Miles. And I'm going, yo, but that's just how they get down. That's who they are. And that's why I love the folks from the Bayou, the boot boys, as they say. And shout out to Baton Rouge, who is dealing with, well, what Oklahoma has been dealing with here of late, which is tremendous flooding. Y'all will get through it because we're getting through it. If you need a helping hand, we'll be here to do that just as you are with each other. All right, that's it for me. Doses.